The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
This story caught my eye. I thought it was interesting, at least to have a little fun with, maybe. The Atlanta Falcons are adding to their Ring of Honor for the 2024 season. Okay, the Falcons, who have not won a Super Bowl, they've been to one. Did not end well for them against Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. Their Ring of Honor includes their former quarterback Steve Bartkowski, Deion Sanders, currently the coach of Colorado, Warwick Dunn, William Andrews, who was a terrific player for him, Gerald Riggs, Jeff Van Note, Jesse Tuggle, I don't know of him, Tommy Nobis, I remember that name.
Jesse Tuggle was a great linebacker.
Okay.
Yeah, or I think 58, if I remember correctly.
Okay. I remember Jeff Van Note. I think he was an offensive lineman. Todd McClure. Anyway, others include. But they're going to add, and this makes perfect sense. They're going to add Matt Ryan. They feel at some point in time Matt Ryan will be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He set franchise records for career passing yards, touchdowns.
Really, Matt Ryan?
They feel like he is. They feel like that he's going to get to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Now I don't know if.
You think Matt Ryan's a Hall of Famer?
No, I don't. I don't necessarily think so.
I do not.
They see that, but at any rate, the other person that they're adding to the Ring of Honor is team owner and chairman Arthur Blank. Is going to the Ring of Honor. Okay, I find that very curious. They said that this is the quote from them. They said that under hang on a second here. Under Arthur's leadership, the team has had results on and off the field, and they have elevated, and his unwavering dedication to the fans and city of Atlanta is worthy of this recognition and so much more. They called him one of the franchise icons. Can you imagine the uproar if the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones announced his name going up on the Cowboys Ring of Honor?
I completely agree with what you're saying. I think this is a situation of knowing the personalities involved here. Mm-hmm. It would throw up red flags for Jerry Jones, but most owners across the rest of the league, it wouldn't throw up red flags for.
Probably almost every other owner, right?
Yeah. I think.
Mark Davis might be one that they might go, really?
Yeah. But knowing the ego involved and how Jerry likes to put himself in the spotlight, everybody be like, "Oh, Jerry, how embarrassing." Every other owner, you'd be like, "Oh, okay, yeah."
Put his money where his mouth was, so to speak.
Are the Dallas Cowboys in a better financial situation when he bought them, or now?
Oh, they're substantially.
Who in the world cares?
If you're talking about
Jerry,
if you're talking about the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry would care, but also the franchise itself should care that they are in a better situation now.
The franchise that he owns.
Sure. My point is, it's not like he's not deserving of being in the ring. It would be ridiculous if he announced himself.
Well, who else is going to announce it? He's in charge of everything. He's made that quite clear. It's a committee of one.
The next owner, his son, after he retires. Chuck Heinz.
Cowboy fans don't appreciate Jerry Jones for making the Cowboys more money. They could care less.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
He's also a 3-time Super Bowl owner. So Super Bowl team winning owner.
I'll say this. It would not surprise me upon Jerry Jones's passing for him to be put into the Ring of Honor. But it would only be at a point in time where he's either on death's door or has passed.
I think Jerry Jones has done a ton for the NFL. Okay? I think he's done a ton. I mean, as far as the things that he's helped them through, the way that he's helped the NFL make money and all of that, I think Jerry's a great businessman. I think he's a really smart guy. All of the above, okay? I think he deserves to be in the NFL Hall of Fame. All of that. I am, okay? But to sit here and act like Cowboy fans are going to be excited and feel like Jerry needs to be in the Ring of Honor because he's making the franchise money, Cowboy fans don't care about that.
No fan base does.
They could not care less.
Yeah, no fan base does.
They want wins.
Yeah.
They want wins. And according to the fan base, I mean, that was Jimmy, not Jerry. That's why it blew up, is because Jerry wasn't getting enough credit. And he didn't like that Jimmy was getting all the credit. And so his ego got in the way there and has kept you from winning any since then.
Yeah, they look at him as more of a preventer, not a person that has enabled this franchise to be successful.
Yeah. I mean, if
Hall of Fame businessman, no question.
No doubt about it.
But not as a GM. Now, if they were to win another Super Bowl, okay, again upon his passing, I could see that. But I mean, are you gonna like for Tom Landry? They put his hat. Okay, for like Jerry Jones, are you gonna put dollar signs? That would probably be a little crass, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think Jerry deserves to be in Hall of Fame, Ring of Honor, all of that kind of stuff. But as far as Ring of Honor, I think it's got to be when he's gone.
He's gone.
Yeah. You don't announce yourself going into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Or your Ring of Honor, or whatever. Someone else has to.
But can't you see Jerry doing that? The Cowboys call a press conference. We're going to announce our new name for the Ring of Honor this coming year. We're going to put in so and so and me.
I can't believe I'm about to say this.
What's that?
Jerry's crazy. He's not that crazy.
Yeah, I agree. I think Jerry would not do that.
Now, could the day after he retires, Steven take over and announce it? I could see that happening.
Yes.
I could see that in the plan.
Yes.
But Jerry's not that crazy.
Yeah.
Chuck, if you wouldn't do it, Jerry wouldn't do it.
What Ring of Honor?
Would you put yourself in the Raymar Hall of Fame?
No.
You're absolutely deserving.
No, there is. First of all, there is not one. Okay?
If there was.
No.
Jamie,
well, we
should Chuck
start
Heinz
one
be in
so
the
we can get Chuck
longevity
in there.
Right. But Chuck Heinz would be a member of the Raymar Hall of Fame.
Jerry's in Canton. That's enough. Okay. Do you think Jerry would retire if the Cowboys win the Super Bowl this year? I don't think Jerry was never going to retire. He owns the team.
No, I think he enjoys it too much.
Yeah.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
And work gets done. It is Wednesday, June the 19th, 2024. Here is Jeff McGuire with this day in sports history.
You guys ready? Mm-hmm. 1922. Paavo Nurmi runs a world record 5,000 meter in a 14:28.2 second time.
Should let everybody know he is the official long-distance runner of the Morning Drive, considering his noted accomplishments.
Many noted accomplishments.
So our official hockey player of the Morning Drive is Wayne Gretzky.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's probably no.
Our official NBA player of the Morning Drive is Michael Jordan.
Probably up there as well.
Yeah. He's our official baseball player of the Morning Drive.
I mean, currently probably Josh Young.
I was going to say he probably gets more mentions than anyone else.
Although, that might change here over the next couple of months. We're going to be hearing a lot about Josh Tomlin, and we're going to hear a lot about Bard. We're going to hear a lot about...
A lot of Joshes.
I've had a lot of
He's
popular
just joshing us, Chuck.
Yeah.
Well, 2 years later, in 1924, Paavo Nurmi runs a world record 1,500 meter.
Goodness.
3 minutes 52.6 seconds. 3 hours 52 minutes and 6 seconds. 50 minutes later, he set a 5,000 meter world record at 14:28.2. Also runs a world record 3-mile time at 14:02 within that event in the Finnish Olympic trials in Helsinki. And I bring all of this up today because this was the day a few years ago that we decided, or I should say I decided, that he would be the official marathon runner of the Morning Drive.
Right.
You break that many world records on the same day, 2 years apart.
You're going to be in a Ring of Honor somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
1942.
Even if it's the morning drive ring of honor.
Hey, everybody's got to have one.
Should have one of those.
1942, Paul Warner is the 7th to get 3,000 baseball hits. 1952, Brooklyn Dodgers pitcher Carl Erskine no hits the Chicago Cubs 5-0.
Carl Erskine?
Yeah, that too. 1955, Mickey Mantle hits career home run number 100. 1961, Roger Maris hits home run number 25 of the year. He'd have 61 by the time the season was over. 1974, Kansas City pitcher Steve Busby throws his second career no-no, beats the Milwaukee Brewers 2-0. Fast forward to 1999, Stanley Cup. Dallas Stars edge the Buffalo Sabres 2-1 in triple overtime for a 4-2 series win. Brett Hull clinches the series with the infamous no-goal ruling.
Were you a Buffalo Sabres fan because you were a Buffalo Bills fan, or are you just exclusively?
I was rooting for the Stars.
Okay. Yeah. But you're just pretty much exclusively, like, if from the Buffalo standpoint, it's just the Bills. It's not all-encompassing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't root for any other minor league. I think there's a minor league.
There's
team
a minor league team there, yeah.
Yeah.
But the NHL Sabres,
yeah, I don't really claim to have an NHL team, but
okay.
I've been to a bunch of Stars games, and I root for them when I see their score come on the screen.
Okay.
So
Yeah, okay. With you on that.
And in 2012, former Red Raider Josh Tomlin gets a no decision after going 6 2/3, giving up 1 run on 6 hits, walking 2, striking out 2, as Cleveland wins over the Reds 3-2. It is National Martini Day.
Kind of out on the martini. I'm not kind of. I am out on the martini. I'm not a martini guy.
Just don't order it.
you look like a martini guy.
Just don't order it shaken.
Yeah.
Not stirred, huh?
You stir a martini. You don't want to chip the ice.
Oh, okay.
If you shake it, you chip the ice and it waters down the booze.
Chip the ice.
See, who knew this? Our 1%er did there.
Happy birthday. Paula Abdul is 62.
Straight up.
Dirk Nowitzki, 46. Jacob deGrom, 36. And Colin McHugh is 37. And on this day in 1856, in the Music Fund Hall in Philadelphia, the first national convention of the Republican Party, founded 2 years before, comes to a conclusion. John Charles Fremont of California, the famous explorer of the West, was nominated for the presidency, and William Lewis Dayton of New Jersey was chosen as the candidate for vice president. Since they never got those titles, we know how that election would turn out later. But that is this day in sports history.
All right, this day in sports history. I didn't know he was famous, so I'm really not aware of him. You know when they say famous? I didn't know who he was.
He was famous at the time. He was famous enough to become the the very first Republican presidential candidate.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody might be famous in their hometown, but not famous.
Right.
Hey, everyone's famous in their hometown. Everyone is famous in their hometown.
Well, it depends on how big your hometown is.
Yeah,
And as a matter of fact, mine's pretty small, and I don't think I'm famous there. They've probably forgotten all about me.
Think they'd have a parade for you?
No, I don't.
Like if you went back for the 4th of July, would you be the Grand Marshal?
I think they would have a parade, but it wouldn't be for me.
Would you have like a sports car that you'd sit on, and that would say, Red Raider announcer Jamie Lent?
Just yours. Just your sports car, Chuck.
6:52 this morning here on the Morning Drive. We've spoken, and I had been sitting on this story just looking for the right time. I don't know if this is the right time, but we talked about the umpire the other day that is on the shelf because of alleged betting, and something happened with him. Bernie Kosar is out of a job. He has been pulled off of the Cleveland Browns pregame show. This happened to him for betting on the season finale against the Pittsburgh Steelers, which the team said was a violation of the NFL's gambling policy. Kosar said on his show that he bet $19,000 on the Browns and would be giving the winnings to charity. He wore number 19 when he starred with the Browns during the 1980s. He's now filed a lawsuit wanting his job back. It was filed last April and lists Cleveland-based media company Big Play LLC as among the defendants.
It's a really odd story.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is an odd story.
You would think that the powers that be that were encouraging him to go do that would have understood. Yeah.
But the other thing, though, is, I mean, he's had a checkered past, Bernie Kosar. Why put yourself in that position? Or get others to sign off on it as well if you're going to do that. But it is an odd story. But you're right. I mean, all the money was going to go to charity. It's not like he was going to benefit from it in any way, but he's out of a gig.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I want to remind you about tomorrow night. Head over to Two Docks. It's right down the street from us behind the main post office and also the Lubbock Arts Alliance. It's over there on 5th and I'll give you the address here. It's at 502 Texas Avenue, so it's just down the street from us. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. We're going to give away $2,500 to somebody. All you have to do is come by, put your name on a piece of paper, telephone number. We don't need, too much. We're going to have a little ID if you win. You make sure you are who you are. Okay? Can't just, we don't have facial recognition yet with our sign-in capabilities. But Double T 97.3 and the Home Zone bringing you this. And so look forward to seeing everybody out there tomorrow. Your opportunity to meet Jamie and Jeff tomorrow night.
How's our handshaking identification going? Like, can you identify people from their handshake?
No, I don't think I could.
That feels like a piece of technology we need to look into, Jamie.
Chuck continues to joke about meeting Jamie and Jeff, but we all know that Chuck is the guy who wants to meet and talk to everybody.
I do want to meet and talk to everybody, but generally not everybody wants to meet and talk with me.
You get your chance
I can tell. Somebody says this, Mark does. He's taking his son to the Tech football camp tonight. Good for you. I hope he enjoys it. And
hope your son does well. And he's a future superstar for the Red Raiders. And you'll remember us when you're big time, Mark.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Or your kid is, And
by being the son of a superstar,
right.
Or I mean the dad of a superstar, you become famous yourself.
How young is it or how old do you think you have to be before you're projecting out what your name, image, and likeness is going to be worth? I mean, is that at 12? Is that at 14? Is that 17? You have to get to senior in high school before you start making those kind of demands? If you're the dad.
I have no idea. That is not in my wheelhouse.
Not in your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
I would put that. Bullfighter says this. I bet Chuck only wants to meet the bona fide listeners. Yeah.
Well, if you're going to talk to Chuck, make sure you bring a bank statement. There's just a certain level that you're expected to be at if you're gonna rub elbows and
bona fide.
Yeah,
I want to meet the bona fide listeners.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to meet the bona fide listeners.
Basically, if you've ever been to the box store, don't come calling to Chuck. I mean, it's really not.
Unless you own the box store. That's different. Then you're just going to work.
Yeah.
As the owner.
Yeah. Or you've shopped there. Yeah.
If you've applied to work there, you're still sketchy. Assistant managers
Chuck's
even.
security staff will weed you out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably have some people there.
Yeah. It's good.
Guide me in the right direction.
They'll be the guys with the sunglasses.
My handlers. Right. My handlers.
Handlers. Yes, I like that. That's pretty cool.
We'll be there tomorrow. Yeah, that'll be
Except
so much
like
the case.
Most security detail wear black suits and sunglasses or whatever. Chuck's wear cargo pants or shorts and flip flops. That's kind of how his guys work.
No cargo shorts. Okay, I don't own any cargo shorts.
I don't even hate cargo shorts, but I love how much it bothers Chuck.
I know it does. It bothers me. I don't.
What's wrong with a pair of shorts with a big pocket on the side?
I don't care for that.
They're handy.
I don't care for that. I just don't. I don't. That's not me. I don't care for those. All right, so Texas Tech baseball's gotten some commitments here over the past few days, transfers. Curious your thoughts on who they've acquired. I'll start with a guy 3 days ago, a pitcher. I like his name, Lucas Perko. He played at Cal Baptist. I don't know if he's any good or not, but he was named a second-team freshman All-American by Perfect Game. That's the same group that had T.J. Pompey on a second-team honoree list. So that's some credibility. He was a starting pitcher for him last year. Started 14 games, 5-3, 384 earned run average, 72 and 2/3 innings. So those are good numbers.
Yeah, good young arm. You want to add to the mix, and a guy that, like you said, pitched well as a freshman, and you're just hoping that he will continue to progress when he's, no offense to Cal Baptist, but you're going to play a little bit of tougher competition here.
Sure.
So hopefully he continues to progress, but looks like a good young arm.
The thing that stood out to me, struck out 76 and walked 22. You'd love to have those kind of numbers.
Yeah, sure. Almost 4-1.
Yeah. I mean, because that was a bit of a problem. And then yesterday you got a commitment of transfer, a guy by the name of Peyton Schultz. He makes a commitment to Texas Tech, and he played at Long Beach State the last couple of seasons. 51 games, 39 RBI, 18 extra base hits, 252 batting average, 6'1", 205. Does that fill a need there, Jamie?
Peyton Schultz is a Cal guy.
Oh, he began his career at Long Beach State. I'm sorry.
Hit 323 last year with 10 homers and an on-base percentage of 375, 21 doubles as well. So a guy that clearly has some pop, and you would think a run producer, and you would think probably has been told he'd have a great shot to win the starting first base position.
Yeah, especially since your guy's in the portal, your old guy, Gavin Cash.
And the guy who wanted to be the guy this year didn't want to play there.
Yeah,
and he's now at Florida.
Yeah. So he's in. It maybe fills a need. And then
I think he definitely fills a need.
And then also yesterday, Davis Rivers announces he's going to come back. What's your thought on that?
I'm excited about that. I think I told you guys from the get-go, I think he's going to turn into a really good college hitter, if he's not already. And I think Rivers is going to battle back there for playing time at the catcher position. You're talking about having Dylan Maxey back. You're talking about bringing in a guy named Sullen Munson, who is a transfer from Arizona State. He actually transferred at midterm, so he wasn't able to be with the team or play with the team this past year. But he has been here a little bit, and so you've got three quality guys back there, and I think you'll see Coach Tadlock mix it up, and I think you'll see some of those guys play elsewhere, whether it be a DH or a corner outfield spot. Munson's definitely a guy that can play around the field and not just be a catcher. Mm-hmm. So, I would think Maxey has a great chance to win the starting job, but and he was impressive as the backup guy last year behind Bazell. But I think you've got three talented ones, and you can never have enough good catching. And again, those guys I think can move around the field. I don't know if one of them can play some first base too, and you go with a platoon there, or corner outfield spot, or get plenty of at-bats as a designated hitter as well. But, good to have options.
How does Munson spell his name? Is it M-U-N or is it M-O-N?
U-N?
Is he related to Thurman at all?
No, he's not related to Thurman. His dad played in the big leagues for 11 years, including with the Astros.
Okay.
But he's not related to Thurman.
I mean, that's a natural, play catcher. And somebody asked that on the chat line. I come up with that in my own brain, and then it's right here, boom, right here. Well,
it is. I mean, it's a baseball player named Munson. You'd be kind of out
catcher.
You'd be out in left field if you didn't wonder.
Yeah, right. Yeah, wonder a little bit.
Yeah,
if he was related to Thurman Munson.
I mean, you hear somebody's last name Biggio, you wonder if they're related to Greg.
Lent, you wonder if they're related to Jamie.
No, I know they're related to Jamie.
Here's the deal with me.
I don't think there's any other Lents in Lubbock besides
the Lents.
The Lent Lents.
The Lent Lents.
So
it's like if I had a dollar or a dime for anytime somebody asked me, Heinz, are you related to the ketchup people? No. I'd be pretty wealthy. I'd be giving away the money. It'd be presented by me tomorrow.
You probably would be pretty wealthy if you were related to the Heinz people.
I know. Yeah. And I don't. maybe somewhere.
I think it's all a ruse.
Back in the day.
I think he is related. He just doesn't want to tell everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the disappointing part for him is that the owner of the Chiefs is the Hunt's guy.
Hunt. Yeah, right.
He's a Heinz.
Yeah.
That's disappointing.
Very disappointing.
Well, I love your work. It's really good stuff.
The ketchup.
The ketchup is fantastic,
Ketchup
man.
work is what you love.
Yes.
You've never loved my work, and my other work is just you just tolerate me.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
All right, gentlemen, this one is, I think it's hard.
Man, when are we going to get an easy question?
Thought we had an easy question yesterday.
Well, it was a three-parter, though.
Yeah, but it was easy.
Yeah.
Is Tech going to have a 2-game losing streak? What would that be, and what do you not want it to be? That was pretty easy.
Yeah, you're probably right about that.
Well, today's is a 3-parter.
Okay, I'm going to take notes again, then.
And I know that every one of these is subjective. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's all our opinions.
Right.
But these are double subjective.
Oh, okay.
Okay? And here's what I mean. Here's my question.
Okay.
I want you to take the 3 major sports at Texas Tech. Mm-hmm. Football, basketball, baseball. Mm-hmm. Okay? And I want you to tell me your favorite player from each of those sports that is not thought of as a Red Raider legend, a Red Raider superstar, but that you really liked. Okay? And the reason it's double subjective is, well, you have to decide, but you're almost insulting them by picking them. Right? Because you're saying they're not a Red Raider superstar.
Oh, man.
Or they weren't a superstar at the time. They're not thought of as one of the greats of Texas Tech all-time history. Mm-hmm. But you really liked them. You were a big fan of either their style of play, their personality, whatever.
Okay.
And I'll go first if you want me, guys.
Is that it? That's
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Just pick one from each of the sports.
Pick one from each of the sports. Okay.
Oh, so it is easy. You said that it?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I thought there was going to be 2 more questions, but you just it's 3 major sports, and then pick a player from each sport. So then that's it.
That makes 3.
That makes it 3-parter.
Yes. 3 guys.
Okay, gotcha. All right, yeah. Do you want to go? Do you have yours, Jeff, in mind?
I've got 2 that just jumped off. I'm trying to pick the third in basketball. It's a little hard because most of the guys that I would put on this list were superstars on bad teams, but they were superstars here. So I don't know that I have a good answer for basketball. Colin Schooler for Tech football.
Really? Okay.
I loved watching him play linebacker, and I was shocked when he didn't get a bigger look from the NFL scouts. Because he was where he needed to be every time he was someplace. Mm-hmm. He was a little undersized, don't get me wrong, and I get that. But when you're at the right spot to make the right play every time, that's something coaches dream about. And it shocked me that he didn't get a bigger look. And I know he was only here for a year, and he's got the one hit again in the Baylor game.
I was going to say, plus he killed the Baylor quarterback.
Sure.
So,
But
basically won you a game with it.
But throughout his career here, the one season, he was always in the right spot doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing in a linebacker position is key.
I wouldn't have said that Schooler was undersized. I would have said he's not quite fast enough to play at the next level, but I wouldn't have said undersized. Yeah, but that's a good answer. I mean, again, the fact that he played a year for us.
Sure, that hurt. But ever from the second he was on the field, I was like, oh, wow, this guy's going to be fun to watch on the defensive side of the ball. Yeah. For baseball, this is an easy answer, and that's Reed Redmond. He was a star here, but never did anything after he left here, and he kind of gets lost in the shuffle of all the great players you've had since he was here. And kind of gets forgotten, but he was a vacuum cleaner at third.
Man, he was really good defensively.
And I want to say he was batting 5th or 6th in the lineup. So I mean, decent bat, had some good pop, but just an absolute credit to third baseman everywhere at the position on the defensive side. And it hurts that he didn't make it further in the minors, but I think that's because they took him from his natural position and tried to make him a pitcher that you would never want to bunt on.
Well, actually, he was cut. he was cut, and then the Rays called him and said, "Hey, would you be interested in coming and trying out pitching?"
Right.
So his career was over,
Stay at
and
third
then
base.
he went to be a pitcher, and actually had a lot more success in the minor leagues being a pitcher.
For basketball, I mean, Jay Crockett was a star, but he didn't get any of the accolades that the players have had.
I knew when I asked this question that Jay Crockett was going to be Jeff's answer to basketball.
He's the answer I have of who I would. If I could bring any Red Raider back to get a chance to taste success, he's the top of that list.
I agree with you on that.
But he was absolutely the star of that team, and
there's some really bad basketball.
There's a lot of bad basketball
He's a good
that he
player.
was a part of, and I don't think I ever heard him say anything negative about the team.
Yeah, he's a
as
good
bad
dude.
as it was. So,
and didn't he end up playing for 3 or 4 different head coaches during his time? Yeah, he was during that stretch of.
He played for Bob. He played for Pat. I don't think he
played for Billy.
He did play for Billy.
He did play for Annie. I think he played
I wouldn't
for
have
Walker.
guessed he played for Bob.
I think he was
for
recruited.
Pat.
I think he was recruited by Bob. Played for Pat.
Played for Pat.
Played for Billy. Played for Walker. And then that was his 4 years. I think that's how his career went. But I think those are my 3.
All right, Chuck.
All right, is DeAndre Washington too much of a star?
This is what you have to decide. I would say he was. Me personally, I would say he's a star. Yeah.
Yeah. You're probably. I just loved watching him play. I mean, but here's a name from the past, and I'm cheating because I'm looking at this media guide here, but a guy that, and this is before Leach years. Okay, this is into Spike, but Donnie Hart at a receiver spot. He always seemed to be able to make a catch for you. He always seemed to. Can I choose a Lady Raider that I enjoyed watching?
Sure.
Dio Olobode. I loved it when Dio came in because there was times when she could lift up a 3 ball. If she was on, she was on. But I like Jay Crockett too. I mean, I was kind of a Jay Crockett. I was a Jay Crockett fan.
I don't know anybody who wasn't.
Right. And for baseball, I mean, I appreciated Brian Klein. Appreciate what he did. Just his ability to kind of grind and not complain.
Why would he complain?
I don't know. But he just grinded,
Yeah.
He just did his job.
Okay, mine's Stan Bonowitz in basketball.
Oh,
I
boy.
love pass-first guys, and Stan was a great passer. At the time he was playing, I think he was a great player in football, but I think he is not thought of as one of the greats here at Texas Tech, but Jarrett Hicks at the wide receiver position. I loved Jarrett Hicks. And for baseball, for me, I would still put Brian Klein in the category of being a star. He was a great player for the Red Raiders.
You're probably right about that.
I'm going to go with Erickson Lanning. Love the personality, love the dude, and obviously he had his one game that was phenomenal that got you to Omaha. So, but a great guy. So I was a big fan of Erickson Lanning. Still am.
All right, 7:40 this morning on the Morning Drive. Boom, boom, boom is next.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Good morning with Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. We come to you this morning from the First United Bank studio. Look forward to hearing from you on the Yates Flooring Center chat line or the Visual Edge IT hotline. Okay? That number is 806-771-0973. Just a couple things here on the chat line from regarding Willie Mays. One person says Willie Mays, best baseball player ever. It is one of those. I mean, he was obviously he's a Hall of Famer, first ballot Hall of Famer, I believe. It's funny because we talked a little bit yesterday about Wes Welker. Will he get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame? And Mays, he was. You could say he was 48, or you could say he was only 48 when he got in, but he played till he was 43. So you had to wait the 5 years. So he was in this first time eligible. So, but it's like, well, if you look at his age, he was 48 before he got in, but he played till he was 43. Do you like the 5 year wait on baseball players? And football players?
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, it kind of helps you keep from having an immediate recency bias, so to speak. Maybe it allows you to look at them a little bit. Mays was my hero growing up and will always be the best to me. He was outstanding in every facet of the game and great under pressure. And we know this, but I'll read it anyway. By the way, Bonds was his godson and was a Hall of Famer before he ever took steroids. Yeah, I don't think anybody would disagree with you on that. That Barry Bonds was a Hall of Famer before the steroids. It is what it is, though. I mean, you're not going to be able to put that genie back in the bottle. The question is, will Barry Bonds ever be a Hall of Famer? Bonafide Hall of Famer. Voted in Hall of Famer.
Doesn't appear that way.
It doesn't appear that way.
Stupid joke.
Well, he's still got the Veterans Committee that can put him in. And I would be shocked if they don't. Because they played with him and they know what he was like on the field. And it doesn't matter to them if he was a jerk because of what he did on the field. You can skip all the press conferences you want for the guys on the field. They don't care.
It is... it's funny. I don't... And look, I'm sure that somebody's going to be able to say this, but when you look at the Pro Football Hall of Fame, it's probably littered with guys that took steroids or performance-enhancing drugs or things along those lines. But you never hear any controversy.
Bonds isn't being nicked just because of steroids. That's part of it. He's being nicked because he hasn't admitted to using steroids, and he's being nicked because he was a jerk.
Well, I think the last thing that you said is what people are holding.
If he were to apologize, say that he did it, and he was doing it to try to make himself big, trying to make himself. But
there were others that got in that didn't have to apologize.
Yeah, I don't think he has to apologize. I agree with you. I mean, I think he's being held out because of what you said.
Yeah, I don't disagree with what Jeff is saying. Okay, but I'm saying it's a bit unfair.
Oh, it's absolutely unfair.
I mean, because we can hide behind it all day long, but Pudge and Bagwell, okay, yeah. Two good dudes, two good guys.
They got in.
They got in. They didn't have to apologize to anybody, and there isn't anybody in America that didn't think that those two were using.
Mm-hmm.
Well, except Choice Woodman. He doesn't think Pudge used.
Yeah.
He's the only one. And that's fine. But the second they let Bud Selig in...
Yeah, I agree with you on this.
That's when my attitude for all of this changed.
Yep.
Because he was the guy at the top of the mountain when all of this happened and turned a blind eye to it. And celebrated these guys and built these guys up because of the TV ratings and the money that was coming in. If it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. Bud Selig in this case is the goose. Now it's time for the players to get in that were being held out because of something he allowed. Now, if you wanted to keep Bud out because he was in charge of what you could make the argument of as a giant disaster for Major League Baseball, I'm all in on that.
Yeah, I think it's a joke that Bud Selig's in the Hall of Fame.
But he's in. Guess what? You've lost your argument.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not comparing him to a commissioner. I'm comparing him to other players that we know were using. Okay? It was obvious that they were using. And they weren't testing at the time. I'm not saying it was the right thing to do. I think it was ultimately illegal. But they weren't testing for it. And if you're going to let some guys in that it's pretty dang obvious that they were using, then you got to let Clemens and Bonds in. Yes, both of them were jerks. And there's a big part of me that loves punishing jerks by not letting them in. But it's silly.
It is silly.
I mean, it's silly.
It is silly.
Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens, I mean, two of the greatest players of their era.
Yeah,
it's a joke.
It's silly.
Just makes the sports writers and the voters for that.
When Jeff Bagwell won his MVP award, I want to say this was 1993, maybe 94, when he won the award in the NL. Part of his acceptance speech was thanking Barry Bonds for letting him hold his award for a year.
Yeah, that's how good of a player he was. Yeah.
Washed Up Guy says this, and he's correct. I seem to remember there was a short period when there were 2 Major League Baseball All-Star games per year, which would partially explain the number of All-Star selections for Willie Mays, and that's correct. It was 1959 through 1962. The second game, according to Wikipedia, was used for to raise money for the Major League Baseball Pension Fund, as well as other causes. The experiment was abandoned because it watered down the appeal of the event, which is true. But yeah, I don't remember that. I remember reading that. I don't remember anything from 1962. But at any rate, that'd be one of the reasons. So even then, Major League Baseball's union was pretty strong to be able to get a second All-Star game played, and then the money goes to their pension. Oh, by the way, the money's going to go to our pension, guys. So there you go. 8:08 this morning here on the Morning Drive. We want to remind you about going to Two Docs tomorrow night. We're going to give away $2,500. Pretty simple. You just sign up. You show up, sign up. Drink a beer with us, or just soft drink or whatever. You don't even have to drink anything. You can just come and hang out if you want to. Might be some food there. You can see Jamie, see me.
If you come, sign up for the $25,000.
Yeah, we want
$2,500.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
There's no reason not to.
Yeah, no, sign up for the $2,500. You don't have to do anything else if you don't want to. You can just hang out. But sign up for that. Give us your name, rank, and serial number. That's all you have to do. Your real name would be nice, and your phone number would be nice. I think that's about all we're going to require. Might have to show a little ID if you win. And
you have to shake Chuck's hand.
Don't have to shake my hand, but it would be my honor to shake yours. Right?
I don't know.
Yeah, it would be be my honor.
I can't answer for you.
You can if you'd like. I mean, that doesn't bother me a whole lot.
Every time I think I have you figured out, Chuck, there's a new little exciting wrinkle.
Well, that's
So I don't want to answer for you. I surely wouldn't want you answering for me.
I know that. Yeah, I know that.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet973.com.